welcome students. Hope you're all doing fine. And this is the slides that I have prepared for you for the chapter number 3 of geography. And all of you are supposed to have your books open with you while you go through this presentation. In this chapter, we will discuss about environmental pollution. So, first of all, what is environmental pollution? It's the introduction of any material that can have harmful impact on the environment that will be known as pollution. It includes contamination of air or water or erosion of land or high levels of noise or light or any other things. The first example, first type of pollution that we're going to discuss is air pollution. Air, as you know, is very essential for life. In fact, it is one of the primary reasons that life exists on Earth. Air pollution is actually the contamination of the air by of any substance that can actually cause harmful impact on the environment. This can include smoke from vehicles or emissions from factories or emergence of any other harmful chemical in the air. There is something known as air quality index. This is a measurement that actually measures how livable a particular air is in a particular area. In fact, most of Pakistan's major urban areas actually have air quality index that is lower than the World Health Organization's recommendation. One of the primary reason of air pollution is the greenhouse gases, and the biggest or the most important or the most significant greenhouse gas is the carbon dioxide. So the release of carbon dioxide in the air actually causes the temperature of the earth to rise. How that it traps the sun rays that are reflected back by the land. During the normal operations or the naturally carbon dioxide is used during photosynthesis and is kept in check by the trees. But due to excessive cutting down of forests and other harmful activities, the carbon dioxide has started to increase in the environment. This has caused a lot of global warming as well. It has caused increase in carbon dioxide and has increased global warming. Other other contaminants include the particulate in the air. What are these particulates? These are very microscopic or very tiny particles of different harmful solids or harmful toxic agents that are suspended in the air. These are actually the primary cause of the smoke that you are seeing nowadays as well. Burning of fuel is also the biggest cause of the release of such gases, and the smoke itself is a carcinogen as well. There are two types of pollutions, air pollutions. There is indoor air pollution and outdoor air pollution. Indoor air pollution is actually caused due to the burning fuels to cook food or the use of different cooking oils. Many of you might have witnessed when something is being cooked in your house, then the whole house starts to smell like what's been cooking in the kitchen. That also happens because we are using less than ideal cooking ingredients or cooking conditions. Uh, the other type of air pollution, the outdoor air pollution, again, it can cause breathing issues, it can cause asthma, and it can cause chronic diseases among not only children but adults as well. So we need to take care of both of these aspects. The next type of pollution that we're going to discuss is water pollution. In fact, even more dangerous than air pollution is the water pollution. Why? Because water is used in our daily life. It is used a lot in our daily life. Uh, the contamination of water by heavy metals, sewage waste, or any other toxic material is known as water pollution. It impacts all forms of fresh water or the water that is essential for the human use, like the rivers, the lakes, and even the groundwater, because most of the groundwater actually seeps from the surface water. Water have a tendency to purify itself. However, when a lot of or a large amount of waste is deposited in the water, it is known as effluent. And this is the point when a water body is no longer able to purify itself. Uh, One of the biggest reasons of the water pollution is the untreated sewage water from our urban waste or from our household waste. Most of it goes to the rivers without any treatment, and it can cause a lot of damage or to these ecosystems as well. The sewage water actually increases the acidity of the regular water or the fresh water, uh, that can actually have dire impact on the ecosystem. Not only that, but industrial waste can actually accumulate within the animals. Like if a river is very contaminated, then the fish caught in that river might actually accumulate all these waste and toxic materials inside its meat. And when humans consume it, it can go into the humans. Not only that, but it can also significantly impact the fish population in that particular area as well. Furthermore, large amounts of industrial waste can actually also cause algae to increase. The amount of algae increases because of the high level of fertilizers and manure, and this algal bloom can actually cause the other life form to fail. The next impact is the turbidity of water. The water actually becomes cloudy, and since it is very cloudy, the light might not actually reach the below the water, and this can also cause significant damage to underwater plants and other things that depend on sunlight but live under the water. Furthermore, among humans, it can actually what it can do is it can actually create a lot of pathogens and other disease carrying factors that can cause diarrhea. In fact, even today, 10% of all or 9% of all deaths in children under age of 5 are actually caused by diarrhea. And it can also cause poisoning and other toxic impacts on humans and other life form as well. And why? Because a lot of heavy metals that contaminate the water are actually very harmful for humans. They can actually cause kidney failure, or even they can even cause poisoning or toxicity in humans to rise as well. The other type of pollution is the land pollution. This is also a very dire situation to live in if the surroundings are polluted. It's a contamination and degradation of land and soil. Soil is a natural resource. Soil is very important for humans. We live on the soil, we farm on the soil, we grow crops on the soil. So that is why it is very important for us. One of the biggest reason of the land pollution is the accumulation of waste by not only by urban dwellers but also by industrial and agricultural waste. So what happens is we take the waste that has been caused by all this and we put it on the ground anywhere else. There are big dumping areas in Pakistan we call it Rodi, and those are actually the breeding place for disease, and they actually cause a lot of diseases to spread. Why? Because they actually provide ideal they can actually provide ideal conditions for these for the animals that transfer these diseases to grow and nourish. So that is how they can cause disease. In fact, this waste that has been just dumped on the surface of the land can actually cause fires. And why? Because most of this material is highly inflammable. Most of the industrial or agricultural waste is highly flammable. So even a single spark can create a big, it can cause a big fire. Furthermore, the smoke, there is a phenomenon of acid rains. When there is a smoke in a particular area, then what happens is when it rains, the water particles got mixed with those acidic particles in the air, and they can actually cause acid rain, which is also not very good for the you know for the land and the quality of soil. Uh, Again, this degradation of soil will increase the fertility of soil. It will increase the capacity of the soil to grow crops, which can again have a significant impact on humans. Why? Because less crop means less food available. Furthermore, the land pollution, the garbage or the waste on the land can also pollute the groundwater as well. Why? Because we know that most of groundwater is actually the water that seeps through the oil, that seeps through the surface. So if the surface is dirty, the groundwater is also going to be dirty. These were the most significant types of pollution. There are also less significant types of pollutions as well, but they are equally concerning, like light pollution. Light pollution is the excessive use of artificial light. So what it does, it can change the natural cycles of wildlife and plants and even humans as well. There are different types of we know the causes of light pollution. The main causes of light pollution is the excessive light that we use during the nights, excessive light in grounds and markets and other places. There are different types of illumination, like over illumination is the overuse of artificial lights. Glare is light that is so bright it causes the viewer to look away. Light clutter is the excessive grouping of bright lights. Light trespass is the unwanted light that can come into our homes or workplace. And the sky glow is when this light actually gets diffused with the uh, night sky, and we can actually on a if on a very busy night when you look upwards, when you are in the city and look upwards, the the sky also seems to be a little bit lit. That's the sky glow. They have a lot of impact on humans as well. It can cause a loss of sleep or sleeplessness, and it this sleeplessness can cause fatigue. It can cause headaches and eye strain and other very discomforting situations. Similarly, noise pollution can also cause a lot of discomfort to humans. It's the excessively high noise any type of high noise that can cause discomfort. In fact, anything beyond 70 decibels or is can be considered as a noise pollution. The biggest cause of noise pollution is actually heavy machinery and heavy transport, like trucks and trains and airplane and heavy machinery that is used. The large accumulation of people at a particular area, like in a festival or a concert, is also a cause of noise pollution. And the loudspeakers and the honks of your cars or motorbikes is also a cause of noise pollution. They are also not very desirable. They can cause hearing disimpairment. It's when you cannot uh, hear when you have a little bit loss of hearing, and this can also cause a lot of those discomforts that we studied in the light pollution. It can cause a lack of alertness. It can cause high blood pressures. It can cause sleep disturbance, and sleep disturbance breeds a lot of other issues. So all this pollution has a lot of impact on climate change as well. uh, First of all, we have created a lot of cities for ourselves to live in. These can actually cause water pollution. Why? Because there is not a lot of unpaved soil, there is not of exposed soil that can actually filter the water or absorb the water, which can actually not only decrease the groundwater, but it can also cause the groundwater to be polluted. Uh, as we have already witnessed, the groundwater quality inside the cities is not very good, and it can also cause a lot of flooding in these particular areas as well. it has a lot of air pollution. These settlements, these cities, and these cities actually also produce a lot of waste product as well, which ultimately causes a lot of uh, you can say land pollution as well. Furthermore, the temperature also rises inside the urban settlements, which can actually cause heat waves as well. The next is the agriculture. The agriculture also produces a lot of waste. Why? Not only does it use a lot of fertilizer, but even the crop residue. In fact, the primary cause of this smoke that we are saying is the burning of the crop residue that is being burned by farmers in both India and Pakistan. And this actually has caused a lot of this smoke as well. Furthermore, this industrial waste also has a big impact on the on this whole phenomena, as we have already discussed. The other is the political impact as well. In fact, it is estimated that 6% of all greenhouse gases emissions are actually by the militaries, by the armies of the world. In fact, the war zones are extremely polluted because of all the explosives and all the military equipment that is being used over there. Uh, and these greenhouse gases actually have a lot of short-term and long-term impact. Short-term impacts include reduced snow cover, increased rainfall from high evapotranspiration. That's not actually good. It means that the land is becoming drier and drier. Why? Because the little amount of moisture that is left is actually being evaporated, and that is actually causing the excessive rainfalls. It increases stress on water resources as well. It reduces crop yields, and it can cause a lot of biodiversity to go extinct. Long-term effects include glacial retreat. This is when the glaciers are melting at a very rapid pace. Extreme weather conditions are have also become more frequent, and most of the tropical forests are being replaced by grasslands and savanna in eastern Amazon. Why? Because in order to raise a livestock. Inland and coastal floods are also increasing, and land erosion is also increasing due to deforestation. So there is a way to mitigate all this, as we have already discussed about the sustainable development goals. So the sustainable waste management includes disposing of human waste and reducing pollution, and managing this pollution in order to reduce its impact on the global warming. Uh, in fact, one of the most successful pollution control that we have done is the 1987 Montreal Protocol that was ratified or signed by more than 197 countries. It include the regulation and decrease the use of the chlorofluorocarbons. These were the chemicals that were interacting with ozone layer, and they were depleting ozone layer. In fact, there was a big hole in the ozone layer, and it was estimated that by 2010s or 2000s most of the ozone layer will deplete, and we will have an abnormal amount of sunlight. But the Montreal agreement was so effective that it not only reduced the chlorofluorocarbons, but the ozone layer has actually recovered in many parts wherever it is located. In fact, there was a big hole over the Antarctica in ozone layer, and most of that hole has actually been uh, you know uh, has recovered because of this agreement. There are also other individual steps, like we can save water and electricity, the use of three R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. We should avoid using plastics, and we should plant more trees. But more steps are actually required at government level. In fact, nearly all of the countries have some form of departments that are concerned with reducing pollutions or reducing emissions. The largest country to have a carbon footprint is China. Why? Because it not only has the biggest population. Well, the biggest is now India. It has the second largest population, but it also have a lot of industry and agriculture to support that population as well. Which is why China has the largest carbon footprint. It has the largest emission of greenhouse gases of any country. There are also other countries that are also are doing a lot of things. In fact, Pakistan is taking a lot of steps. It has launched many steps like 10 billion tree tsunami program that was of Imran Khan Protected Areas Initiative, participation in reducing emissions, national greenhouse gas inventory, carbon markets, water sanitation and hygiene program, Pakistan climate resilience urban policy framework, national adoption plan, national ozone unit, green climate fund, and global environment facility. These are all the steps that have been taken by Pakistan in order to reduce their pollution and carbon footprint. This concludes your chapter, beta. As I have told you, we will do the exercises where, in face-to-face classes, or I will send you these tutorials of your exercises as well if the face-to-face classes will not commence. All the students are supposed to go through this presentation, and you have to keep your book open during this presentation. Okay, beta. Allah Hafiz.